tell me what you found.
Okay.
This mystery.
So, after you left the other day, Mara remembered all these boxes in the basement, and we had the mother load on Mary Ann Carruthers.
They were filled with tons of information on the museum, on Horace Carruthers, original curator for the museum, the guy who went crazy in the sarcophagus.
Who also happens to be Mary Ann's grandfather.
Oh, the plot thickens.
Yeah, well, wait till you read the article.
It's all about Horace Carruthers and how he was trying to debunk the whole idea that there was a curse on the museum's Egyptian artifacts.
Yeah, the curse of Queen Otiri. Curator Horace Carruthers says, this museum has a responsibility to history and science, not curses and voodoo.
So the way we see it is Horace went down into the sarcophagus, you know, to do some scientific research of his own, to debunk the myth.
Yeah, but something happened with this Queen Otiri and the voodoo, and he ended up in the sarcophagus and later in an asylum.
Yep, look, here is a program from the opening night gala at the museum naming Brandon Spaulding and Spaulding Enterprises as benefactors.
So the Spauldings and the Carruthers were connected?
Yes, but we don't know how yet.
I just feel like we're in the middle of a Nancy Drew mystery.
Nancy who?
Ha, I know you've read every single one of those Nancy Drew books.
Well, you're about to take a crash refresher course. Well, did no one think to invite me to this little coffee clutch?
Carrie, so I see you've had your ear pressed against the wall again.
You know, if you could just get used to emails or instant messaging or something.
Instant. Horrors, email, everything is instant. Nothing good ever came instantly. Even God took 6 days. Well, I expect you were talking about the men in your family.
Yes, we were. And we were hoping that maybe you could tell us how they're connected to Mary Ann.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you act like they're criminals or something.
Oh, you don't think that your grandfather has criminal tendencies?
No, of course not.
I think that maybe they might have gotten into something over their head that they regret now.
I got it.
What? The white powder.
Aha, Eureka, at last. I knew you would sniff that out sooner or later. It all began with the warning. Before the artifacts had even arrived at Springfield, the curator was warned by his contacts in Egypt never to open that sarcophagus.
What does that have to do with Mary Ann? She wasn't even born yet.
You people are going to drive me mad. When you ask a question, the trick is to wait for the answer. After the untimely death of the curator, there was another man who was very, very interested in this mysterious white powder. He was a scientist. He was also the curator's son and Mary Ann's father. He got into the museum late at night. He got past the guards, and just as he'd suspected, there was plenty of powder to be found, but there was something else that caught his eye. A ring. And 3 others, just like it. The rings that I gave to you. Well, put them on. Don't be frightened. And then I'll continue the story.
Do with the powder and the rings after he found them?
He was only interested in the powder. He knew that he had in his hands a potentially lethal substance that had the power to destroy a man's mind forever. But he felt that the powder was really only dangerous when it was in its raw state. So he wanted to develop other theories. Breaking down the powder's elements, the science discovered it was composed of medicinal plants and certain products from fish. In ancient times, it had been used by Egyptian nobles and priests as part of a ritual. The powder created dreamlike hallucinations, during which the taker felt no pain. That's when the scientist knew he had hit gold. He had in his hands a substance, which, if he could find a way to tame it, would induce a state beyond pain.
That sounds like some kind of early anesthetic.
Exactly. A substance that could create euphoria or madness. Like many things in life, the key was the balance. Everything depended upon how it was developed.
So was the scientist able to bankroll this kind of research and development?
Oh, of course not. But he was determined. And that's when the Carruthers family and the Spauldings joined forces. It was a marriage made in heaven, or so they thought, at least at the beginning.
Brandon Spaulding. Why didn't we think of that? It was his money that paid for the Egyptian exhibit to be brought back to Springfield in the first place.
But it wasn't just Brandon, though. It was Spaulding, as in Spaulding Pharmaceuticals.
Exactly. Business and science came together in a way that changed both families for generations to come. The drug created by the Carruthers-Spaulding partnership is now known as antimonium. When it was first introduced medically, it was wildly popular worldwide.
A drug like that must have produced mega bucks for the Spaulding.
And for the Carruthers. They became one of the richest and most prominent families in Springfield. They were very happy for a time, the widowed scientist and his only child, Marianne. He doted on his little daughter.
What happened to her?
I suppose you could say that she got mixed up with the wrong crowd. So no more grumbling and grousing that I never tell you anything.
Oh, you can't just leave us like this.
Yeah, there's so much that we still don't understand.
Well, it's a very complicated issue. Think about it. I'm sure you'll be able to make the connections.
Okay, wait, but what you said before about Marianne getting mixed up with the wrong crowd, were you referring to our fathers and Marina's grandfather?
Connect the dots.
We're trying, but they're just totally reluctant to even admit that they even knew Marianne. We need to know why.
Because of what they carry in their hearts.
What?
Memories. Memories of a terrible night. When a young woman got in the wrong car with the wrong people. That was the last those men ever saw of her. The night the car lost control and plunged off the bridge and into the river.
God. That's how Marianne died?
What bridge was it?
Yeah, what river? Was it here in Springfield?
That's the next chapter. Find it.